Oh, I am loving the energy that is coming off of this collective. If this message is finding you and you resonate, it's giving trendsetter, trailblazer right off the bat. I feel like you are somebody who just does not abide by the status quo. I feel like you actually get quite frustrated when people try to fit you in a box. You seem to be very multifaceted, multi-talented, or just always have been drawn to an unconventional path, have an unconventional way of thinking. And perhaps, like, I'm getting vibes of maybe throughout school, you always had like different groups. You never really fit into like the clique scene. You were friends with people sprinkled throughout, or you kind of kept it to yourself. But there's something about your energy that is so defined. Like, you've really found your place in the world. You've found your place in how you can express yourself. And I feel like you are moving in that direction. But again, it's so funny because I feel like in addition to being somebody who is setting the stage for new ideas, new energies, really, again, like being an inspiration to others as well seems to be significant. You're also quite stubborn. There's like a stubborn energy coming off of you as well, which is funny and also not surprising because if we're aligned, like I'm stubborn. So I'm sure a lot of my collective is stubborn as well. But it's almost like you get frustrated again if somebody tries to define or expect what you're going to do next. There's something about you always wanting to do something unexpected or go against the grain. And I'm being called to share like a funny example of this where I've seen it in my life because you might resonate. Like, there have been times I'll get my little hyper fixations and I'll really like something and I'll talk about it to the people that I love, or, my friends, my family. And God bless, having like a support system who listens, because there will be times, like I had a whole era where I was very obsessed with sloths, but to the point where like I was getting sloth merch all the time, every gift, just constantly. People were sending me sloth videos. And it got to the point where I got so frustrated because I was like, I do not want to be known as simply the girl who likes sloths. So I was like, never mind, shut it down. Sloths are fine. I'm not a fan of them anymore. It's kind of like that energy where it's like, as soon as people start to pick up what it is that you're into or try to define you again, you're like, nope, never mind. Like, you actually can't place it on me. You can't place it on me. I'm going to prove to be something else, and you'll just like go another direction. But again, there's something really magnetic about this energy. There's something very powerful about your energy right now. And I feel like you're attracting a lot. Okay. It's making me smile. It's making me feel giddy. Okay. This feels very exciting. I just feel like you really know who you are. That's what it is. You really know who you are. We have the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom. Again, somebody who knows who she is, and you know what you want too with the Two of Cups. You know what you want. And I feel like you are currently attracting what it is that you want by embodying this energy, by embodying the truth of who you are, going after what you want, not taking no for an answer. Again, having kind of like this stubborn mentality, but in like the ways that it can actually serve you and your community and the collective. Okay, I feel like this doesn't feel like a selfish collective, okay, somebody who's only looking out for themselves, but there's something about by you being so firm in who you are and what energy you align with and how you want to be defined or how you want to be perceived. It's actually leading you to that which is truly meant for you, again, with the Two of Cups. Perhaps a partner, if this is something you're looking for, because Two of Cups can definitely provide like soulmate connection, but it really feels like you're actually drawing in something that you actually want. It's not, it's not going to be like whatever this manifestation that is coming into you at this time. It's not going to be something that doesn't feel aligned or that makes you question if you should take it or not. Like, I feel like it's going to be this knowing. And perhaps you've been sitting in this Five of Pentacles energy. Ooh, Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords. Okay, feelings of lack, having battles, feeling like you're not seeing eye to eye with people. And again, there's something about, because you are such a trailblazer, trendsetter, that kind of energy, you've probably heard throughout your life, like, I'm just hearing things of like, oh, you've changed. I don't recognize you anymore. You're not who I thought you were. Or people maybe having like feelings of jealousy, feeling like they're in competition with you, those types of things. Okay. But it's again, like, these are the people who are of a lower vibration. And I feel like you're really moving past that. You're moving past the lack mentality. You're moving past the mentality that you have to be one specific thing, that you have to, once you identify a certain way, that has to define you forever. Like, you're very malleable. You're very open to transformation. And I feel like you've gained so much discernment and knowledge and intelligence through your path, through through, again, this conflict, through this feeling of lack, again, through like having to fight against people constantly, I feel like it's actually given you more truth, more authenticity to your path. And maybe you've had to cut people off in the process as well, and that hasn't felt very good. But again, it was kind of like, I'm hearing like cutting the fat, like trimming the fat is really what it was. People who cannot handle like your fully embodied version of self are people who don't really deserve to be in your life. That's really what it is. It's like, oh, they liked you when you were playing small. Oh, they liked you when you were fitting in the status quo. But the moment you try to kind of go off the beaten path or do something different, suddenly they don't recognize you. Suddenly they don't support you or like you. And I feel like instead of allowing those moments to make you feel bad about yourself and start self-deprecating and start falling into spirals of, self-hatred and things like that, it's actually empowered you to move forward to a direction knowing that, okay, well, clearly, like, we're not aligned anymore, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. Yeah, you've been faced with a lot of having to really pull upon your surrender and your faith and your trust in the process. There's a lot that has been hidden from you through this, okay? There's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of shadow energies that keep coming up. Maybe as you continue or as you move away from some of those relationships or some of those situations, you probably have moments where you question, did I do the right thing? Was that the most aligned decision that I made? Should I have held on to that longer? Should I have fought for that harder? And I feel like again, even though you can't see exactly where you're ending up is going to be much better. You're going to be falling into aligned communal relationships, happiness, fulfillment in what you're doing, what you're spending your energy on, who you're spending your energy with. Okay. And it's because you kind of took that leap of faith. You went through, you felt the fear, you did it anyway. You trusted yourself. You trusted in the divine to provide. And so it is going to provide. And I'm just hearing, and this is similar to a reading I did a couple of days ago, but I'm hearing like you did make the right choice. Okay, if you walked away from people who were not allowing you to be your fullest, most authentic self, fullest, most confident, most self-loving version of yourself, then those people do not actually want the best for you. They don't actually want you to love yourself. They want you to hate yourself just as they probably do as well, okay, for themselves. So you are moving on to bigger and better things. You have the Page of Cups, Queen of Pentacles again, Queen of Swords, and the Lovers. I feel like this next chapter is going to bring you so much love, peace, and joy, and feeling really supported with like your inner child energy. Again, that like kind of that version of yourself that wanted so badly to be accepted, but then was kind of hid away or tucked away because of the conditioning of society or people in your relationships, where it was that you were surrounded by, I feel like tried to tuck this version of yourself away, and that's coming back up to the surface. You again are cutting through, you're seeing the truth, you're being honest with yourself and you're being honest with your surroundings and making decisions from that place of, again, no, I'm going to remain authentic to myself. I'm going to, shed off any rose-colored glasses, again, kind of cutting off anybody or anything that does not allow you to be your most fullest embodied version of self, where again, love seems to be very significant. Perhaps you spent a lot of your life not loving yourself because you were tricked into thinking that you shouldn't, because you were tricked into thinking by being unconventional, you were not deserving of love. That is flipping. You are falling into so much deep love for yourself, for your surroundings, for where it is that you're putting your energy, love from the divine. But again, it's really all coming from your internal love that you have reached. This embodiment of this highest version of self is really coming through. And I just feel like, yeah, your inner child, I feel like you're very protective of your inner child. They're coming out to play more. They're able to create. And again, that's leading you to massive abundance in all forms. So I love you. If you have made it to the end, I just have to say like a very quick thank you for all of the support that I have received. I have to apologize too, because I have kind of had to put some boundaries around my energy with like responding to comments. So if you're noticing I'm like not responding as often, I do apologize. It was just kind of getting to me a little bit, especially with some of the negative comments that comes with the good. So I'm trying to just balance myself out a little bit, make sure that I can provide the best service possible to anybody who resonates with my energy. And I'm also so excited because speaking of not wanting to be fit in a box, I've always said, since doing these tarot readings, like this is not all I do. And so I'm really excited to launch something on Sunday that is very close to my heart. It has to do with inner child healing. So if that is something that you're interested in, please stay tuned for updates. I should have that live on Sunday, the 5th, I believe. But anyway, sending you so much love on your journey ahead. And thank you again for being here. Mwah.